RJ Ferraro here, bringing you another car talk. Today we're going to talk about when it's okay to run from the cops. Well, the short answer is it's never a good idea to run from the cops. You might be legally justified sometimes, but it rarely ends well. We see a lot of news these days about citizens getting hurt by cops, sometimes even killed. And we also see a lot of news about cops getting hurt by citizens. And in almost every instance, it involves somebody trying to take the law into their own hands. Now, sometimes that's the officer taking the law into his own hands, saying, hey, I'm the cop, I can do whatever I want, I can make you stop. And sometimes that's the civilian taking the law into his own hands, saying, hey, you didn't do this right, therefore I have the right to resist. And you might be right, you might be wrong. It's not really your say to determine whether or not the cop had the legal justification to stop you or to detain you. It's not the people on the street watching you or holding up their iPhones to record the incident. That's a question for the judicial system, and more specifically for a jury, because that's a question of fact, okay? An officer has to have a legal reason and be in the execution of a lawful duty in order to detain you. Once you start running, things can start happening quickly. Once somebody gets hurt, everything's off the table. Even if you have a legal right to resist an arrest, you never really have the legal right to resist an arrest with violence. You know, very few cases go to jury trial anymore, and to a lot of people it really does feel like the burden of proof has been reversed, like you're guilty until proven innocent. But the truth of the matter is, once that jury walks through the door, the only thing that really holds up is the Constitution. The Constitution says that you have the right to have the case proved against you beyond a reasonable doubt. And if the officer wasn't executing his lawful duties when he was commanding that you do this or that, well, that's going to get sorted out at a later date. I know it can feel like the cards are stacked against you, especially when the state has the law enforcement officers, they have the resources. But at the end of the day, that's the reason why we have jury trials. They're the one thing that can keep the state, the judge, and the cops all accountable to the system. And if we don't do jury trials to test the system, then nobody's ever going to be held accountable. But taking matters into your own hands on the street, it's never going to be the answer, and it's never going to instill the change that we all want to see. So the best thing you can do ultimately is just comply with the officer's requests. Keep your facts clean so that when the jury sees it, you're the one with the white hat. Don't run, and I think you'll be better off all the way around. I hope this helps, and if you have any other questions about this issue or any other, feel free to contact us at the Ferraro Law Group. We'd be happy to give you a confidential consultation.